Good morning. Hope all is well with everyone. Thank you for joining in on this episode. We're going to talk about how to become the version of you that you see, that you know is there, that you desire to become, but you just can't seem to make it over certain hurdles, or you don't really understand why. You've been working on this for 6 months or a year or maybe 10 years, and you just can't seem to make any ground. So, we're going to talk about probably, I don't know if it's the single most important, but it's at least in the top three things that you have to become aware of in order to achieve the desired you. And that's called self awareness. Self awareness is just where I am literally aware of my personality, aware of my strengths, aware of my weaknesses, aware how I emotionally react to certain things that come into my life, whether those are good things or those are bad things. If you run into a situation where emotions are heightened and I become super agitated, or I get really angry, and agitated is one of those things that breeds into anger. And so I promise you, I'm going to do like always, I'm going to keep this to less than 10 minutes. So I hope you take time to listen to the whole conversation, because I think it will absolutely help you. Most people don't take the time to just understand their own personal makeup. This is my personality. This is how, because of my beliefs and the attitude that I have and the behaviors that I have developed, this is how I react in certain situations. They say things like, well, that's just how I am. Well, unfortunately, if you prescribe to that belief system where this is just how I am, then I'm just going to tell you that's how you're always going to be. It's not just how you are. There are some things that happen in your life, some belief systems that you set up inside your mind, whether those were kind of come on naturally through experiences, or you were even on purpose taught those by people in your life. They affect the attitudes that you have, the way that you look at life, the way that you speak, the way that you function with people inside relationships, and big room environments and small room environments where it's one-on-one conversations, and people just aren't aware of their own self. Therefore, they get in this crazy cycle of doing the same thing every year over and over again, not understanding, why can't I change, why can't I develop, why can't I get to this place that I want to get to. The truth is because what you don't acknowledge, you can't change, and what you're unaware of, you can't deal with. So one of the greatest things to help you, me, become the best version of ourselves, to live in this place where we can have it all, knowing that from last week's conversation, you can have it all, but you only get what you're prepared for. You have to become to this place where you go, okay, I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm not going to make excuses anymore. I'm actually going to own the reality or the facts that the reason I don't have what I want, I haven't achieved what I know I can, is not because of you. It's not because of my boss has it out for me. It's not because of the environment I grew up in. I'm not going to make any excuses that the world allows us to make. I'm going to look in the mirror and go, okay, the reason that I am not where I long to be is because of the person staring at the mirror. It's me. I'm not controlled by circumstances. I'm not controlled by environments. I'm not controlled by any of that. I understand that's a debate that we can get into, that if you prescribe to that reality, hey, it's because of XYZ, this person can't, or I can't. That's a debate you don't want to get into, because it's been proven wrong over and over and over again. You are, in some sense, in control of your destiny. There is a plan that God has for your life. He desperately wants you to work in conjunction with Him so that you can achieve it. And most people, like, they look for an excuse to lose instead of a reason to win. The reason that you don't is because you're just not self-aware. You just don't realize that it's your personality, your belief system, your attitude, your emotions that are causing you to lose ground instead of gain ground. So once you just pause and go, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath, I'm going to look in the mirror, I'm going to stop making excuses, I'm going to become self-aware. Here's my personality. This is the way that I react in most situations. This is kind of my deal. These are the emotions that I have that are fed by the thought processes that go around in my mind almost daily, all the time. I become this person that now is aware of the thoughts that come in, the belief systems I have, the attitudes that I put off. I mean, I know somebody walks in the room like, man, they got attitude. Okay, they're probably not aware of that. they probably think I'm great, everything's good, I'm solid. Well, the truth is, you can be better tomorrow than you are today, but not without being self aware. And once you're self aware, you begin to understand social awareness, you begin to understand how people view you. This was very difficult for me. I just thought, man, I'm solid, I'm doing good. I didn't know why people responded to me the way that they did. Why? Because I wasn't self aware of my own personality, my own belief systems, and so I became really not obsessed with it, but just got to this place where, okay, I'm not changing. I'm not moving forward. My wife was kind enough to help me understand those things. And so I got to a place where I just owned the reality. Here's my strengths. Here are my weaknesses. And I have a list of them. And so in order for me to work on them, I have to acknowledge that they are weaknesses that really are produced from belief system and thought patterns that I've built over a course of time. How did I do that? You can't really change your reaction. I'm going to show you how the process works, and I'm going to show you how to begin to develop change in the next 4 minutes. Stay with me 4 more minutes. You can't really change how you react. What does that mean? Your emotions come up from stored energy. That's a reaction. If something threatens you, if something comes into your space, or you feel challenged or something like that, because of your personality, belief system, and attitudes, you're going to react a certain way. But you can't stay in reaction. You now have to choose a healthy and positive and powerful response. So there's reaction, there's response, and then here's how we change. We have to recover. What does that mean? We go through a situation, we go through an environment where, man, I reacted this way, but I chose, this is cool, I chose, because we all have the power to choose. Just a little side note, if you're out there and you're struggling with an addiction of some kind, whether that's porn or narcotics or alcohol or whatever, let me just tell you this. Addiction is a word to communicate the lack of power, but let me just say this. You had the power to choose to be addicted. You can choose to not be addicted. That's just the truth. But anyway, so you have reaction. That's how I react, but I choose. I'm going to breathe. Healthy, powerful, positive response. The distance between what I feel and I react and how I respond is a measuring tool of my maturity and my emotional health and my self-awareness, my social awareness, all that, because the goal is to close the gap from reaction to response that's so narrow that nobody notices the distance between it, that you just get to a place where externally it looks like, man, I immediately responded in health and positivity and power. How do I do that? I recover. I look at those environments and those situations and I go, okay, I reacted this way. It took me this long. It took me a day. It took me hours. It took me a week to get to a healthy, powerful, positive response. Why? What was inside of that? What were my desires, my expectations, my motivations? What was my why going into that environment? And once I am honest with myself, I become self-aware. I'm now able to see the beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors that cause me to be in an unhealthy response, a non-forward moving and achieving my desired self. And what were my thought processes that actually brought me to a positive, powerful, and healthy response? My reaction was not good. It took me this long to get to response. Why did it take me so long? Did I sit in selfishness? Did I build a case for my own self-pity and excuse my unhealthy reaction because of XYZ? Well, if that's the case, take those things out so the next time you're in that environment, that doesn't happen again. So you have reaction. I'm going to respond healthy, positive, and powerful. I'm going to recover every time I enter a situation, a day, a week, look back on how I did, what was good, what was bad, take all the unhealth, all negativity, all lack of power out of those things so that the gap closes between my reaction and my response. And here's what I build for myself. I build for myself respect. And it's not just about the respect of other people looking in, it's self-respect. You want to build self, because if you don't have self-respect, nobody will ever respect you, and you'll always do things that hurt you, that stop your forward progress, because self-respect can also be translated self-worth. As I gain ground and I make healthy and positive and powerful responses to difficult situations, and I see myself really growing, that gap closing, Man, I am better this week than I were last week. Man, I am so much better this month than I was last month. You start to elevate yourself. Why? Because you've elevated your thinking, the way that you respond, and you begin to gain self-respect, which causes other people to respect you. You gain self-worth, and you don't allow yourself to lose ground because you actually like what you have become. So I'm 10 minutes, 14 seconds in. I hope this absolutely helps you. You can comment on YouTube. You can click on my link, send me an email. If you need to dialogue about this or talk about this, I love you guys. Listen, you can be better today than you were yesterday. How do I do that? Become self-aware. You're going to react a certain way. Choose healthy, powerful, positive responses. Recover from that and build yourself self-respect. Love you guys. Talk to you later.